Hey guys, thank you so much for downloading this episode. We're talking about boobs, but not in the way you think. So there's nothing sexy about a mammogram. So we're talking about mammograms. We're talking about safe boob massages that aren't even remotely sexy, but might be to you. It depends. We're also talking about Paula's kids because they're driving her crazy because they've been sick for a super long time. And of course, some ugly and awkward moments of the week. All of this and more. So thank you so much and enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie?
Oh my heavens, give it to me. I love you. I'll keep this forever.
Paula?
Your nipples make or break our marriage.
Uncensored as always, it's time for the Uglee Truth.
Welcome to the Uglee Truth. It is episode 246. Ugh. Yay! We're back for another week of shows. This is Jamie with my sister Paula. We're talking about life and love. No, not really. Do we ever really talk about love romantically?
I don't think we're capable.
I don't either.
Or mature enough to
I just think life has beaten the romance out of us.
You know, it's funny that you say that because, okay, I'm going to ask you something.
Okay.
I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get the words out.
Do it!
Do you ever refer to sex as making love?
Oh, no! Do you?
No!
Jeez, no. Oh my God. I think, okay, being completely candid, I think one or two times Daryl's like, I want to make love to you. And I'm like, oh. Like, what? And I'm like, what? Really? I don't
do that.
What, are you trying a new tactic? What movie did you watch? God. I do not want to be made love to. I don't even know who does that. Like those Harlequin romance novels. Do they even say it in those? Don't they usually get a little naughty in those? I don't even know.
I'm like, do real people say that?
I don't know. I have never, no. I'm speechless because I can't fathom anyone who truly loves sex would ever say that. It's just weird.
Well, I don't know what made me think about it the other day, but I was just thinking about it and I'm like, I couldn't even utter the words because it's just...
No, that's like...
It's like trying to say your worst word, like, you know, when you cringe when you say the word fart or something.
Or
like
the other F word that we can't even utter.
Oh, God.
The F-E-E-T word.
Yeah, don't spell it out all the way. I know what you're talking about.
You know what sucks is when I see a visual and it just grosses me out to know it. Like I can't even with the F word the leg hands. We can't do it. I can't do it. It's that bad. Making love is that bad.
God, I can't believe you're saying it so freely. Can
you imagine someone walking up to you in the kitchen when you're preparing macaroni and cheese? So you want to make love tonight?
I'd be like, God, do you know?
Who are you talking to? Are you trying to tell me, are you trying to get me to dry up? Do you want me to say no?
We can like have sex, but I don't know what the other thing it is that you're talking about. That just sounds gross.
I would like to know where that came from. Where did that originate? I remember actually, now that you say that, apparently, and I don't buy this, I was reading something, this was a long time ago, that making love did not mean sex initially. I'll have to Google it. I'll have to look it up.
Well, what did it mean?
I don't know, but it didn't mean having sex. It meant something else.
Well, be careful when you Google that. I'm just saying.
I might see some very frigid British people laying down next to each other in flannel nightgowns. I don't know.
Like Kama Sutra or...
No, I don't know. But no, I do not appreciate that statement. And if someone were to ask me, I would say absolutely not. No, I do not. Absolutely no.
You've ruined it for at least 2 days.
Yeah, nothing is going on this bod that will let those words entice me into doing anything for you at all. Can you imagine? Yes, let's make love, and then trying to, suck some guy's dick after that? No, it's like, no, that's making love. Ugh,
now,
no.
like, if they were a foreigner, maybe, like, that would make a difference.
Well, if they asked me in French or Italian, I might do it.
Yeah, because I wouldn't know. I'd be like, yeah, sure, or whatever. I don't know what you just said. You could tell me that my ass was huge, and I would be like,
yes.
yeah.
I'd be like,
in my
oui.
mouth.
God, no shit.
Anyways, I was just curious. If it was a phrase that it was something that you used, or
do you honestly think?
No. Well, I didn't know. You said you were like married to the most romantic man on earth.
Actually, I am not married to the most romantic man on earth. He is sentimental, and that's different, because if he was romantic, I would be, flush with, flowers all the time and jewelry and things of that nature, when in reality, it's very rare. He will wake up every couple of months and go, you know what? I haven't sent her flowers. And then he'll send them for me. He'll send them to me. And I think that's really sweet. I love fresh cut flowers. I love them. So that's great. And I know that there are some men who never do that unless it's Valentine's Day or birthday. So I get it that I'm lucky in that sense. But I can do anything. It reminds me of that comedian when Bill Cosby was not a rapist, when he said that a kid will get a piece of wood and he'll put a nick in it and he'll give it to his mom. He's like, Mom, I made this for you. And then the mom's like, oh my heavens, give it to me. I love you. I'll keep this forever. Right? And then you give that same piece of wood to the dad. He goes, what the hell is this? A piece of wood? Where did you get this? Throw this out. What the hell? It's that.
Right.
He's the sentimentalist. I'm like, what the hell is this? A piece of wood? But I can give him a shred of paper with a note on it, and I'll put it in his bag for when he travels, and he will keep that thing until it literally disintegrates into dust.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, he's sentimental, and I know that, and so I like to, that's how I take care of him. He knows what I like, and he's a dude. And he doesn't have a very long attention span, so he has to write things down and then remind himself, stuff like that. But I will tell you this, he does pay attention. He knows my anxiety really well. He knows when I'm getting anxious, but even though I obviously really know when I'm anxious. But he's starting, that we've been together long enough, he can sense when a new wave of anxiety is coming. And I use comedy a lot or humor to kind of deflect my anxiety, to kind of make me feel like I know I'm being ridiculous. I know that nothing bad's going to happen, but I have to say these things out loud. And he kind of allows it without going, that's enough.
Right. You're like Miranda at that one dinner party they went to. Remember?
No.
And then Carrie's just like, what's up? Do I need a 2-drink minimum here? Or
Right. And so speaking of, I had my mammogram this week.
Oh. And those two correlate well.
Yes, don't they? Well, obviously, with the way things are, you have to schedule those things pretty far in advance because they get booked up pretty quickly, especially if you have a very specific place and time you want to go, which I do. And so I booked it for this last Monday, and it was at 7 a.m. because I want it out of the way. And there's a couple of reasons why I want that. One, the technician or the woman that has been doing my mammograms for 3 years is always there, and she only works mornings. She doesn't work after like 10 or 11. And so the earlier, the better. And every year I hope that she's still there because she's the only one that makes me comfortable, and she accepts that I'm freaking out, and she's really great about it. And so that's one reason. The second reason is I figure if something's not right when she does my mammogram, they immediately take you and they'll do a biopsy, or they'll do a more in-depth mammogram, and I want to get it. If it's going to happen, I want to know right away. I don't want to get the call at 6 o'clock at night that I have to come back the next day. I want it all done right away. And so that's the other reason.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I just figured if you're going to scare me to death, let's just do it all in one fell swoop. That's kind of my thought process.
Start it early.
Right. And so, of course, for the 3 days leading up to the actual appointment, I'm horribly anxious. And I have, massaged my breasts all the time for the last 48 hours, hoping that I don't feel anything because I don't want to be surprised. if they find something. And so, and understand, I go to the doctor every year. I have an annual. I have the mammogram. Everything's been on the up and up. But, the older you get, the more possibilities there are, because that's just kind of the way life is. Right. And so I was sitting on the couch and I turned to him and I said, when you have to have a mastectomy, they remove your nipples. So you kind of look like Barbie. And
Who said that?
That's how it is.
Oh.
They take them. And I mean, now Angelina Jolie, she's so able to have this technology that they literally removed her nipples and the nerves and they put them in little petri dishes. So they did the whole mastectomy and the reconstructive surgery, giving you the fake boobs and everything. And they were able to reattach her nipples, which is not common. That's actually really new technology, and it's probably incredibly expensive. So not everybody gets that. But what most women do is they either get, you get the little pasties so that your bra, so it looks like you've got nipples. But now women are tattooing nipples on. And I said, would it be all right if I just got tattoos? Because I don't think we're at that level where we can, harvest my nipples and put them back on after a mastectomy. And this is we're watching Family Guy or something. And he turns to me. He's like, what? What are you talking about? I go, well, my mammogram's tomorrow. And I'm just saying that if something happens and we go through this process, I'm going to treat things aggressively and my nips may be gone. I mean, if we can afford to harvest the nips, great. But I highly doubt it. And he's like, Jamie, everything is fine. You're not going to have a mastectomy. You're not going to need it. I go, what if I do? That's all I'm asking you. Will you love me if I have no nips? He's like, yes. I mean, what is he going to say? Absolutely not. This thing is over.
Your nipples make or break our marriage.
You know why we're in this. You know why I'm here. So I said, all right, fine. And so, of course, I did not sleep well. I was up at the crack. Luckily, I had to be there early. And so the morning of the mammogram, I'm super resolute. I have no emotions anymore. It was so far out that it had reverted back to I'm empty inside. Basically, I'm dead inside at this point. Mm-hmm. So I get there, everything is on the up and up, and he's like, why are he wanted to come with me, and I said, oh, you absolutely will not come with me. No, I need to do this by myself. I can't have others. I just need to do this. And it was funny because the technician told me that when women come to get them, they usually bring a bunch of girlfriends so that they're all there together to do it.
Is it like a party?
Yeah, they do. They do it like a party because it's scary. And they basically say, look, if one of us has anything wrong, just like in the cartoon Family Guy, it's like if one of us has any kind of tumors, we're all going to Bali. We're all going to go on vacation. So, but I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. So every year that I have one, she always says, well, I don't see anything, but you have dense breast tissue. So if you get a phone call, don't be surprised. Mm-hmm. It's nothing. There's nothing there. But if they feel like they need a better shot, they may call. So don't freak out. She didn't say that this year. She didn't say that this year. So I went through the whole process. And she remembered me and she's like, oh, you were here just a year ago today. And I said, I know, you've been doing them for now 4 years. And she's like, okay, well, you know what? Have a great day. And I'm like, and nothing. And so I've been a wreck ever since.
Because you don't have your dense breast tissue?
She didn't say that she didn't see anything, and like she usually does. And which is no big deal. And she isn't really allowed to say that anyway, because if they do happen to see some kind of inconsistency, they would say, you shouldn't have told her that, because there is something there. So she didn't say anything this time. And I'm hoping that it was because things were running late, because I got there and it took almost an hour to get in, which is very unusual. And I'm hoping that it was kind of just a rush job and that's all it was. She was casual and cool. She's like, all right, have a great rest of your day. But of course, being anxious, I'm reading into everything. I'm like, she's telling me to have a great rest of my day because tomorrow's going to be horrible. Like, am I going to get a call, a letter? And I'm waiting for my doctor to call to tell me I got the all clear. And so,
So how long has it been?
4 days.
Jamie, I'm sure if there was something in there, you would have been called by now.
I hope so. I hope there wasn't like a backlog or something. But, you're almost to the mammogram phase.
What age?
40. That's when I started. So I'm just saying, of course, there's a million things they say, oh, you don't have to do it. You can wait till you're 50. And I'm like, fuck that. No, I know way too many women who got breast cancer in their late 30s, early 40s. I started when I was 40. I wasn't going to dick around. No way.
Wow.
So I'm telling you, and and I tell mom, I tell her mom, who's obviously not 40, and she's like, yeah, it's been a while since I've been. And I'm like, Mom, I sat with you at Sam's restaurant when I was 20 years old, and you had to go back for a redo because they found something in your boob. You were hammered at 10 a.m. because you thought you had breast cancer. So do not tell me that you shouldn't be going to get those things checked out every year. And she's like, well, it's been a couple years. I guess I should go. But, I've just been going through other health issues. And I'm like, no excuse. No excuse. You have to get it done. It takes 10 minutes. And I would much rather be anxious than not know. And then find out, 5 years from now that I had something that was totally curable and didn't do it because I was afraid. So I don't mind going through the 3 days of anxiety and waiting for the call and all that stuff. And I'm fully prepared to have to go back, because I do have the dense breast tissue thing, which runs in the family. And so you never know. You never know. But I'm feeling fine about it. I don't think, honestly, they would have called me fairly quickly if there was truly a concern. They don't wait around for that stuff. So
I wouldn't think so. I think there's probably two piles that, of screens.
Yes.
And the other pile gets, called pretty quick.
They're probably at the top of the deck. No doubt.
I would think so.
No doubt. So, ladies, get them done and do your monthly, do the monthly breast thing in the shower. That's what I do. I mean, it's not sexy. Don't think for a second, male listeners, that it is a sexy thing. It's not, because you're sitting there with your eyes and you're shaking and going, what is that? What was that? Wait, no, grapes are okay. Rocks are bad. That's basically it. So...
Not all of us are like you.
Oh, everybody else is like, they have a blasé attitude about it.
Pretty much. I'm just like, do the quick massage, and then I'm just like, all right, I'm going to shave my armpits.
Actually, I had anxiety about having what are the lymph nodes under your arm being engorged because of terms of endearment, because she had tumors under there.
Oh, under her armpit.
Yeah. So I thought for sure that was going to be me. So one time I was laying down and I had an itch right under my armpit, and I scratched and I thought I felt a bump, and it was my rib or something. It was ridiculous.
God, you're so traumatic.
I know, but I have a little PTSD. I mean, I did lose my best friend to leukemia at a very fragile time.
That's true.
And our parents, and it was a devastating loss. So I mean, I definitely need to get over it, but it's hard. It's hard.
But we did lose, several aunts and our grandmother to cancer. So
we did. And the thing is that it's hard to determine if it's environmental or genetic, because our mom is nowhere near, she doesn't have anything. So
yeah.
Anyway, so do your mammograms, ladies. When it's time, don't go running out when you're 20 unless you feel something. But how many of us thought we had breast cancer when we were going through puberty, though?
Oh, God.
I think we all did, right?
Those stupid glands. They hurt so freaking bad.
They hurt, and they're round and hard, and they're little breast buds. And we're like, I think I have a tumor. And Mom would be like, honey.
Of course, Mom never explained a damn thing to any of us or what to expect.
That is true. She relied on the school system to teach us.
And Cosmopolitan magazine. So,
That's true. That was
our choice. Well, I'm going to explain much more to my children. And what I'd like to explain to my children right now is that just because you're sick doesn't mean that you can't clean up after yourself.
You came over this last weekend.
Yeah.
And your kids seemed fine. They were jumping up and down and doing great. And they didn't look pale and sickly. But apparently they kind of took a turn.
Yeah, well, Ryan did for sure, because by the time we got him to Dr. Grant's the next day, He's just like, oh, you've got lots of infections.
Oh, God.
And so,
Gross.
of course, I feel like the asshole parent, like,
well, it happens so fast.
Waited so long to take him. But I'm like, we took him to the urgent care twice, and she said there was nothing wrong. But
so they're ill, and they're just like throwing their snot rags on the floor.
It's not so much that. It's just like their glasses, their bowls, their soda cans. And, Victor, he throws his stuff away. But, like, he put the trash cans out on the street. But I had to pull them back up. The trash needs to be taken back out. The sink is just full of dishes. I still have to cook dinner. And I'm just like, and then like there was just so much dog hair all over the living room so I'm like Swiffering everywhere. Ugh. And then, there's cat crap that I'm picking up the cat crap that, we expect, just we don't know where it's coming from or where it's going to be. And I'm just getting really resentful because I'm just like, this must be the life, to just lie around and have everything picked up and cleaned. And
well, that's what we all aspire to.
Yeah, why not?
It's so true. How long did that last before you lost your shit? Because there's no way you haven't lost it yet.
Haven't, because now everybody's on antibiotics. So I would say by Friday, if it's not changed, then I'm going to start demanding that people start. I will start doling out chores.
You are more patient than me, because I would have been like, okay, you are well enough to get up and to play your video games and to watch your shows and to pull out every toy that you own. And yet somehow you're too weak and ill to return the things where they belong or to pick up your dirty clothes or whatever. That I'd be like, first of all, be lucky that you're even here, because you would, if this was me, I would have been back at school after a day of antibiotics. Like there'd be no rest period. It'd be like, you're inconveniencing my life. You're on antibiotics. You're not contagious. Get your ass to school.
Right.
Go to bed early if you're tired. That's pretty much how our life went. So I have no sympathy. Once you're recovering and you're no longer contagious, if you're so sick, then you need to be in bed. Is pretty much what I would do. And there was only one kid who would call my bluff when I did that, and that was Mackenzie. And she'd be like, "That's fine. I'll be in bed all day." And she would be in bed all day. I know. There's always one. Jerk. There's always one.
Yeah,
so.
And, because Olivia's still little, she's like, Mom, can you make me some ramen? Can I have a pancake on a stick? Can you help me get a drink of water? So I basically become her personal, maid. And then the thing that gets me, though, is like, you have like the pots and pans from dinner the night before if you didn't wash them.
Right.
Victor decides to just put them in the sink and not rinse them off.
Not even soak? No soaking?
Not even scoop out the food that's still in there.
Oh my God.
And it just puts them in the sink, and I'm like, well, this is nice. What is this?
This is a new chore. I know. It sucks. It does suck. If anybody who is a stay-at-home parent thinks that it's easy and that you lay around all day, you are sorely mistaken. And that's the drawback of staying at home. Even with one kid, they're messy and selfish, and they're just inherently that way because they're children, and we mold them to not be that way. So by the time they leave, they're perfect gentlemen and ladies. But before that, they're ungrateful, lazy little assholes. And they're not always like that, but they start off that way. And you have to kind of beat it out of them somehow. Not physically, but you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. So, and you're right at a time period where, Ryan's in the throes of puberty, so he's being a little dick. And then Olivia's like, oh, but I'm just so small. I just need assistance with everything.
She is.
And bats her big blue eyes, That will grow old. Wait till she gets her period. Oh, weird. God.
Gosh.
You won't find her so adorable.
I keep thinking, she's got to grow at some point.
She has grown, but pretty soon she'll be like, Ma, meatloaf.
We want it!
Yeah, it's like, where is it? Well, the 6th season will come to an end. Summer will come. Everything will die and dry out. And you can send them, they'll be doing their activities. They won't even be home to mess anything up.
Hopefully.
It'll be nice. Speaking of school, so your kid's going to be in 7th grade. Was there any surprises? Did he go with you?
Yeah.
To the 7th grade orientation?
Yeah, we had the 7th grade orientation this week, which after 10 minutes in, I kept leaning over to him. I'm like, if you're not feeling well enough, we can leave. He's like, no, Mom, I want to stay. And I'm just like,
he's being all studious. And you're like,
And so then I'm writing notes on the notepad. I wrote, I'm thirsty. Just stupid little things.
You're the kid. I
was being the kid. He was being the adult. But we got to hear from the principal, the vice principal, and then all the department leads in math, English, history, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was so boring. It was beyond boring.
I've gone to those, and you always see there's always different types of parents. You see the ones that are front and center, and they have they have the attention of all the staff. They are ready to roll. They've got their pad and their pen, and they've got everything organized, and they are ready. And then there's a couple rows back, there's the parent who turns their child going, do you hear what happens if you do that? You will get in trouble, Matthew. You will get in trouble. I hope you're listening. Because there's those parents. And then there's parents like me and you were like, bored. When do we get to have the orange drink? Where's the where's the bake sale? Just tell me how much money you want and I can get out of here.
That's me. I'll write you a check right now and let me leave. So, no, we had to sit there and listen to every person. And then they talked about what was AP science, AP math, AP history, AP,
blah,
PE
blah, blah.
Or whatever.
Right,
I don't know. So it all went through that. And then they have this program. It's called a Kickstart program.
Oh, okay.
Which is over the summer. It's 3 days. Is it before school starts or just 2 weeks before school starts? They have the students come in, whoever wants to, and they basically mirror what 3 days of school would be like.
Oh, you totally make Brian do that, right?
Yeah, he wants to do it.
He should do it.
And so they walk around the school and see where all the wings are. So this is the science wing. This is, the boys' locker room and blah, blah, blah. And this is where you get your lunch. And so they actually get a lunch and, stand in line and see how to pay for it and everything. So that way when school actually starts, they don't get
afraid. And
they already know how to do it. So...
God, I'm just reflecting on what kind of parent we are, what kind of example we set when we go to those things. We're so effing rebellious. We give zero fucks about authority. None.
I know.
None. And yet we were good. You and I were really good students in school.
Yeah.
We really were. We just had a bad attitude. Isn't that weird how that is? You and I did really well in school. I mean, we obviously didn't go together because you're younger than I am.
Yeah.
But neither one of us really got in any kind of trouble. We were really good kids. And yet here we are going, bored, I hate it, dumb. But, we were like that in church too.
But I told Brian, I'm like, it's not that hard to figure out. Do you really want to go to this 3-day thing?
Yeah, yes or no. How much? $10? Done. Whatever. I'm good.
And then they're like, your schedule will be ready on August, blah, 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 between 8 and 8:25. And I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm just like,
8 a.m.?
We're still in spring break or summer break mode. Summer. I'm like, I don't have to come here at 8 a.m.
Well, usually, God.
So I'm fighting everything.
Yeah, you're already really
complaining about everything.
8 a.m. on a Friday morning in summer? Come on.
Right. I feel bad. I'm not excited about anything.
You are. It's just, we've been doing this for so long that I remember by the time Malia's in high school and we went to 0 open houses for any of the kids. I think we went to one year when Tyler was a freshman, which was a decade ago. And we went and Tyler's like, why are you here? And it's well, it's open house. We're supposed to go. It's a fun time. And he's like, it's dumb. And so we went to the one class where he got extra credit if the parents came and signed in. So we did that, and we meandered around a little bit because it was like our first high school kid. We were excited, you know?
Yeah.
Now I'm like, Malia, when's open house? Like, I know, Mother. I don't know. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? You're a cheerleader. You're supposed to go to those things. He's like, we don't have to go to those. No one goes to those. I said, okay. So now we're just like, I don't even know what an open house is anymore. Like, they just don't even exist. And in fact, middle school, they don't even do open houses because the kids are so terrible. You just show up after school and they take you to their homeroom class and show you all their paperwork, and then they issue you their report card. And if if you want to talk to the teacher, you can. And I'm not saying it's like that for everybody. I'm just saying for the school that our kids went to, that's what it was like. By the end, when Malia was there, it was very different. Because the teachers, you know, you've heard that adage that middle school is where teachers go to die. Because no one wants to teach those children.
Yeah. Instead of you should have heard the teachers last night. They were just raving about how they loved being there, and you know they prefer middle school, and they actually chose to be there. And,
no, you didn't.
You know
no,
all this stuff. And,
nope. No.
And then the vice principal, I could have sworn he was like our age, but I guess
we're not 20.
I know. I guess that's possible.
Yeah.
So, it was weird, but he's
like... It's always weird.
He's like, I'm an administrator, and he's like, I always enjoy being the vice principal. He says, but you don't really want to come see me, because I guess the vice principal's the...
disciplinarian.
The disciplinarian.
Yes.
But he kept telling jokes as he was talking, and I'm just like, this is getting awkward because you're not really that funny.
You're not killing the room, dude.
No,
you're bombing.
You're not.
You're bombing.
Just, he would let them like tail off, and then
I would be like,
going.
You're no Richard Jenny, get off the stage.
Right. If I had like tomatoes, I would have thrown them at him. But
yeah.
So, I mean, even though I give Ryan a hard time, I'll probably end up doing all of those things.
Well,
just
of course
because
you will.
I know how he is. And then he got pretty, interested when the athletics teacher came up there.
Yes, that's the most important thing for boys.
We learned about when all of the athletics start. And
let him do all of them. That's my advice to you. We let the kids do all of them because it's never going to be that cheap again. And then they find out what they don't want to do. And then ultimately they whittle it down and end up finding something they love. Like, I know he is really thinking about wrestling or football, but either way, he should do it all. It's fun.
Right. You're right. So
that's good.
It was an hour and a half long, but...
That's all?
That's all. When's the last time you sat in a metal chair for an hour and a half?
Oh, probably 7th grade orientation.
Probably.
It was just...
Oh, and then Ryan noticed that there was a dance the first month.
Yes.
And so Ryan's just like, I can't believe there's a dance the first month.
They do them every month, usually.
And so... No, not this high school. They do. I think they do them about once a quarter.
Yeah, so 4 a year. And then 8th grade has their special one.
Yeah, they do. Yes. But this school, they make them less like dancey.
There's dancing,
but then they do like laser tag. Then they have like, a game truck. And
that's kind of cool.
All that kind of stuff. So that way, if you want to go to the dance, but you don't necessarily want to dance, but you still want to socialize, then you can.
I mean, I would say that it's too bad because it's a rite of passage to have to force people to interact without distractions.
Yeah.
So there's something to be said about that. However, it probably does get more kids to go if they don't feel like they're forced to stand around like a dork for 2 hours waiting for some dumb boy to meander around. Oh God, it's just such an awkward time. It's such an awkward time.
I know.
God, everything is sweaty and smelly and greasy and you're just feeling ugly and gangly. Ugh,
pimply.
I'm so glad I'm not ever having... If reincarnation existed, I'd come back as a 11-year-old pubescent boy. Have to deal with some kind of weight issue or something. It would just be the worst.
I don't know what I would do.
But speaking of awkward, we really need to get to our ugly and awkward moments of the week.
have one of those exercise balls. Oops, hold on. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Excuse me. I don't know. That was my ugly and awkward moment of the week.
There you go.
So I have one of those exercise balls that you like can lay on your back, and you can do like sit-ups, or you can lay on your stomach and do like leg ups and things like that. Or
Okay.
I was sitting on it and I had my slippers on, and so my slippers don't have any tread, and so I was kind of like, woo, I was like playing on it, and Ryan, Victor, and Olivia were all in the living room while I was doing this, and
They were watching you do this?
yes, I somehow lost my balance, and I went to go like stop myself with my slippers, but my slippers have no tread, so I was kind of like a you know when a cat gets scared and their paws kind of go sideways because they're trying to run.
Yes, that was you?
I tried to like get my bearings with my slippers,
With
but
no
they
tread.
wouldn't do. And so I actually kicked the end table, and then I fell sideways and I landed hard on the ground on my hip.
Oh my God.
Yes. So
Oh my God.
I was so embarrassed. And I was embarrassed because I kind of got hurt a little bit.
Oh God, I hate that so much.
And Victor's like, what are you doing? So he came and picked me up like a child, you know.
You didn't get mad?
No, I just started laughing.
Oh my goodness.
And so, because, you know, I got hurt and...
Yeah. And you didn't cry?
No. I mean, it wasn't like that bad, but I was just laughing. So of course I went in the bathroom and I like lifted up my nightgown and I was just like, what am I, you know, looking at, seeing if I have a bruise or...
Do you have one?
I had a bruise on the top of my foot from kicking the table.
Oh God. Oh.
So anyways, it was...
Wow. That's violent. That's a violent turn.
I know. So I will only properly use the therapeutic ball. And
Yeah, don't be goofing around in that thing. And what are you doing working out in a nightgown anyway, girl? Jeez, put on a legging.
I wasn't working out. I was just sitting on it. And
You were goofing around.
Because all the other kids sit on it and, you know, but...
Well, you know.
They're
you're
young
not
and...
Yeah. They have a little more of a core.
And pliable, I guess. I don't know.
Wow. Well, you know what? There you go. Just only use it for its intended purpose, perhaps. Don't do anything unusual on it anymore. Awkward moments will abound, though. So keep it around.
Agree. Yeah, really.
It's like, I need an awkward moment. I think I'll go get on my exercise ball.
Yeah, I'm trying to create an awkward moment.
Anyway, okay, here's my awkward moment.
Okay.
Last weekend, Daryl and I were running errands, as you know, people do when you have a spouse who likes to do everything with you. And so we were at Trader Joe's. Well, we pulled into a parking spot at Trader Joe's, and we go in and we get whatever we need, our frozen mangoes and whatever. And we're coming out, and you know how much I hate minivans. Daryl does too, but I hate them more than he does because he was also once married, and there was discussions of minivan talk.
From one child, come on.
Well, listen, it was another life. And I'm not saying he would have done it. Like, I don't think he was all in on it, but I think that it was one of those relationships where he would have just relented and it would have happened, and he just never would have driven it. But anyway, I hate them. I hate them a lot. And so
I didn't know that. I mean,
my God.
Most people don't like minivans, but I didn't know you had like, you know, an actual hate for them.
I have an aversion. I think I know a lot of people that I love who have had them, and they are useful when you have a lot of kids, or if they're super busy, they have sports and dance and ballet, and they go to 2 different schools. I mean, those things, you know, are important.
Well, like the family that you had probably could have benefited from a minivan. And
Well, we just got a SUV instead.
But the difference is that minivans are a lot cheaper, and that's, I mean, and SUVs are. No, I'm not saying that you should have gotten a minivan.
It was a well worth the investment to go
I'm
above
just saying,
a minivan.
SUVs are cheap or more
it's true.
expensive. So I can see why people get minivans.
And you know, and I appreciate those that get black or something that's not the green or the gold or the blue that a lot of people end up getting. Anyway, so we're coming back out to our car, and there's a black minivan parked next to us, and they did the shit job parking. Great. They were over on the white line. It was really, really close to my side. I mean, I could get in and everything, but it was a shitty job. And of course, because I have this hateful aversion to minivans, I walk right up to it and I go, look at this shitty parking job.
Oh, God.
Minivan people, right? Car was full of people with the window rolled down. The woman in the front seat, who was obviously sitting with her children while the husband went in to get whatever at Trader Joe's, she literally turned and looked the other way. Like she wouldn't, her neck was cranked so far over her shoulder. She literally would never turn. And I turned to Joe, I'm like, oh God, the car's full of people and the windows are down.
Of course they are.
And he goes, they're children, Jamie. They're children. They don't know. I'm like, that woman in the front seat ain't no child. That is the wife who's going, fucking Thomas. Why did he have to park like that? You know?
Oh my God.
I was so embarrassed. And I'm like, I want to feel bad. I mean, it was an awkward moment because of my big mouth.
Right.
But on the other hand, she was also feeling awkward because, well, I made her feel bad.
True.
I didn't mean to. It was her husband or girlfriend. I don't know, whoever. I felt bad because I would never purposely go out of my way to directly assault someone verbally about their parking job. It's just too dangerous. But yeah, so I think you won.
Oh, you do?
Absolutely.
I thought you won.
What? Oh no, I think you're falling and bruising and all of that garbage. That's classic awkward moment.
Yay!
10,000 points.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Okay, well then, thank you everybody for joining us this week. I hope you are enjoying us having 2 shows. I know we are enjoying doing them. We look forward to talking to you again on Wednesday, and we'll see you then. Bye!
Bye!
That's a wrap. Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Uglee Truth.